Okay, still in the how-to section, what we want to do is we're going to go over a couple of the different menu items that are going to be necessary for you guys to know. The one that I want to go over, alarms. Okay, right now there isn't any alarms, but I want to relieve pressure on the system. What you guys should see is the low alarm lights come up. This is what it'll look like, and basically just read them. Either contact the factory or go to those sections to clear it. Right now it's in low pressure. The only way to clear it is turn it on, make it build pressure. Someone could have isolated it or whatever. Maybe the isolation valve is closed, but correct the condition, the alarms will go away. There's no way to just clear them. You have to fix the condition. I'm going to return back. The other two items would be our inputs and our pressure sensor. This one here, maintenance, you can see your low alarm, 0, low alarm, 0, high alarm, 100 psi, and high alarm psi. These are alarms based on just the sensor and the system. You can change those, make your alarms more appropriate to what you guys use. System ever gets to say 75, you could change these to 75 and you'll still get an alarm. That will initialize this relay number 3. And internally you can wire that up to your lights or bells in your control room and get that signal. Next, deadband, that's for the shut off the alarms, 0.5 or a half a psi. Alarm suppression, no, I don't want to. Reset calibration values, again starting with a new one, or if you've done some bad calibration, reset your values, start all over. Cal required, it'll remind you to calibrate it if you want it to. Slope, leave it at 2 millivolts per unit. Low range, high range. Smoothing factor, if you want to, if your system jumps around quite a bit, you can enter a smoothing factor, maybe 50% or so you can stop it from, and it really just suppresses the screen so it's easier to read. If you're having trouble reading it, smoothing factor will help you. Cable length, gauge, and units based on the sensor that we've given you guys. It is a linear reading. We've named it pressure. You guys want to change it to name, you really shouldn't, and it is a generic sensor in the type on this one. Someone's gotten in here and changed those settings. Any one of those settings could be causing you some false readings. Come back to the factory. We can also give you a file that you can reload to reset the software if someone's made some mistakes. But that is basically the sensor menu. The last menu I want to run you guys through real quick is the outputs and the relay for the pump. So I'm going to hit the maintenance button. I'm going to run through here. Your handoff auto settings, of course, when it's operational, should be an auto. Right now it's not. We're not in operations. Our set points and our deadband, of course, those are where we turn on and we turn off. Outputs, duty cycle, we want it to be 0 all the time. Duty cycle as a percentage, 100%. This here, output time limit. The output time limit is we don't want the pump running for more than 20 minutes. If it runs for 20 minutes, there's a problem. Right now it says 15 if you want to change that. Hours, minutes, and seconds. Just up and down. Reset output timeout. If it ever does timeout, that's the way to reset it. Interlock channels. The interlock channels only has one interlock, and that would be the low level. The low level currently is on D1. You can see the little square inside the D1. Activate with channels we don't use. Minimum relay cycle. If you get a lot of chattering, pumps turning on and off, it does wear the motor out. Really shouldn't. But in here you can enter 20 seconds. That if it ever trips, so the pump has to come on, it stays on for 20 seconds period, no matter what the pressure is. Sometimes in the low pressure scenarios, it does help. Hand limit time, like we said on our at the top of this menu, the handoff auto settings, just has to have a hand limit. Let's say you're operating, you do want to add some glycol, put it to the hand, hit return, come back home. In 10 minutes, what will happen? It'll switch back to auto automatically. It'll go ahead and shut itself off. Nice feature. Reset time total. It counts for you how long it's been on. We have it looking at the pressure sensor, S1. We're forcing it higher, that's the way we want to feed glycol. We've named it glycol. Again, we can come in here, we can change it to a glycol pump if we wanted to. And the mode should be on off. It's basically just an on off set point. Come on at 20, turn off at 30. Okay? Those are the three main menus for you. If you have any other questions on some of the menus and some of the menu items that you need, contact the factory, we can run you through them. Very good.